Hey the internet, this is Luck. I know how much you all love arguing about monetization, so we're gonna go another round. Yay! I saw a great tweet the other day from at Rowan Kaiser that said MMORPGs depict capitalism and labor as we want them to be, and free-to-play social games depict them as they are, which gave me a lot to think about with regard to my feelings on free-to-play MMOs. I think the one appeal of the MMO world in general is that no matter how big and complicated they get, it's always possible to figure them out. You know that if you put in a certain input, you'll get the expected output, RNG willing. So when the messiness of real life is introduced, especially when it comes to money, it makes sense that it would make people feel uncomfortable in their fantasy world. Not only that, but suddenly things like socioeconomic status come into play. Someone can use their real life situation as leverage to create a privileged status in game. I mean, up to a point, if you own a PC and have time to play an MMO, you probably aren't starving, but it's all relative, and it still feels bad regardless. This really is probably a major factor in companies choosing to sell currencies outside of the game to be used in the game, whether it's Plex or Funcom points, Terra, Thalers, the list goes on. Odds are, if you can buy something in-game, you'll be doing it through a system like this. And I don't know if it was inspired by Disney Dollars, or even if Disney Dollars was the first example of this, but it always makes me think of that system. Maybe spending real money isn't considered fun enough. I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna do the maths regardless, which, depending on your perspective, may be even less fun than just buying the thing you want with the money you have. The pricing in game stores often makes me think of hot dogs and hot dog buns as well. Hot dogs in packs of 12, buns in packs of 8, You're always left with a bit of currency, not enough to buy anything, but enough to make you feel like you're missing out on something unless you buy some more, which essentially makes part of the thing that you already spent the money on worthless unless you spend more money. And of course, business is business. This certainly isn't the worst, the worst of it. But regardless, it is time to ask the hard-hitting questions. How many in-game currencies is too many in-game currencies? Guild Wars 2, a game that I like a lot at launch, had gold, gems, karma, badges of honor, skill points, and a different currency for each of the 8 dungeons at launch. And they added even more afterwards, fractal relics and laurels, and not to mention in-game items that function as currencies like ectoplasm and obsidian shards as well. There were the seasonal ones, the time-related ones with the 2-week update cycle. There were often new currencies introduced for every single one of them. So yeah, it got to be very bloated very quickly. And Guild Wars 2 is a very successful MMO, so maybe the answer is that it's impossible to have too many. But having said that, they have had to introduce a new storage system to make everything manageable, as well as making most currencies account bound rather than character bound. And when you start having to design entirely new systems to fix problems created by your current systems, your current design, something along the way is causing a snafu. And of course, this is part of a problem with MMOs in general as living games. Almost any change has to incorporate everything that came before, whether it worked or it didn't. And but moving on to the crux of what we're talking about in this video, I look at what WildStar is doing, and I can't help. You do the thing where you sort of purse your lips and you squint a bit, and you do the you do the thing like a mechanic who's about to tell you something expensive. It's already a game with a fair few currencies. It's a game with a loot-based progression, so it kind of has to have a way of regulating the market through character account bound gating. It's not the worst example of it. It has to exist, but what it may become the worst example of, if it's not careful, is just confusing and unnecessary systems when it comes to obtaining, buying, and using currency for the in-game shop. Now, NC Coin, we're getting into it now. NC Coin is the standard sort of Disney dollar currency for use in the store. You can also have Omnibits, which can be earned in-game to use in the store. My first question, why do they have a different name? Why is Omnibits such a much cooler name than NC Coin, which just sounds horribly dry and corporate? I don't know either whether like you can use these in conjunction with each other, whether they have like maybe they're separate because they have sort of lopsided values, so you can't compare them as easily. Fortune coins as well are something that you can buy with NC Coin that you can use on the roulette wheel gambling thing. Which makes sense to add. There's a Chinese release coming, and those systems tend to do well in the Chinese market. But why is there this extra currency? Is it so you can win that currency at the wheel? Can you buy that currency with Omnibits? Well, can you use a combination of NC Coin and Omnibits as well? Can you win Omnibits at the wheel if you get them through in-game stuff anyway? Service tokens as well. That's another currency. It's a currency, but you buy it in the in-game shop with NC Coin or Omnibits, or possibly a combination of the two, if that's even possible. Service tokens are for a variety of convenience-related things. They're not really connected though, so it's pretty easy to like miss one or not know that you can do something with them. And I can only assume it's introduced to take another step away from the idea of the real money transaction. Like, you're there and you want to res on the spot quicker, and you go, oh, I'll use my service tokens, and in your brain you go, oh well, you bought the service tokens with the NC coins that you bought from the shop, so you don't really, that you're more likely to like spend them or something. So maybe, I don't know, maybe it's a hot dogs and buns thing. I'm sure that'll be the case either way. We're not finished, by the way. We're still going on this. Cosmic reward points are something else that you get for using the store. So it's a currency that you don't buy from the store, but you get from using the store. It's like a loyalty stamp from Subway, I suppose. If you buy enough things from the shop, you'll be able to get something free for the shop. Again, I'm not sure if Omnibits count for this, or if you can use a combination of NC Coin and Omnibits. I don't know if this also counts, because I mean, if you're using like the fortune things, I forgot what they're called, fortune coins for the wheel, it probably wouldn't count if you're using them for the wheel, because you've already bought the NC Coin, which is using the NC Coin to buy the fortune coins is the transaction in the store, so you wouldn't get cosmic reward, for God's sake. No, I've totally lost my place now. So cred is in the game as well. I don't know if you can buy that with NC Coin or Omnibits, or a combination thereof. And obviously, I mean, all of this is subject to change, and I've probably misunderstood things, or I might have missed stuff out or got details wrong, but that's sort of the point, isn't it? That's the point of this. It's like, why is it so complicated? Why do there have to be this many layers and this many interactions between different currencies that are all coming from an identical source? Like, are we really that scared of like just paying for something that we want being so poisonous to the idea of like having fun within a game, that we're going to these lengths? I don't know. Maybe it is. And I mean, I think there's something to be said for giving players choices in how to allocate their resources, opportunity cost and all that. If anything, it's something that's been lost in games recently, but I can't help but feel it's a bit of a buzzkill when you're asking people to make those choices with real money. If I was a more cynical man, I'd assume it was intentionally confusing, or at least meant to obfuscate and meant to make you feel distanced enough from your real world money that you're more happy to spend these things. Again, business is business, and ultimately the whole point is for us to give them money, but I want to feel good about it when I do. I don't want to worry that I bought the wrong thing, or that I wasted my money, or that I've got a few Disney dollars that I paid money for sitting in my wallet that are now worthless unless I spend more, continuing the cycle. Am I wrong? Am I a terrible person for thinking this? Am I in a situation of privilege where I have, where I have disposable income that seeing a price in real world money doesn't faze me as much as it would have 10 or 15 years ago? I don't know. Let us know in the comments below. I'm sure you're gonna have a big argument about free to play anyway, so I don't have to I don't have to encourage you with that. But do give this video a like if you think it's a conversation worth having. If this one specific aspect of this conversation gave you any ideas or made you think about anything in a new way, and do subscribe to the channel for many marvelous things from fabulous people. And I will see you again really soon. Thanks. Bye.
Make sure to level up your MMO knowledge by visiting MMORPG.com, subscribing to our YouTube channel, and by following us on social media. To catch up on the week's biggest MMO news, watch our latest MMO FTW. And to see if there's a better MMO out there for you, watch one of our latest First Impressions videos. Thanks for watching.